Today we're talking about the 31 companies that decided to raise their dividends in the last week, and unfortunately the 10 that decided to decrease their dividend payments. We're going to start right here with Orange County Bancorp, and they've decided to raise their quarterly dividend by 15%, giving them a forward yield of 1.94%. Number 2 on the list is MDU Resources, and they raised their quarterly dividend by 2.3%, and they've got a forward yield of 2.93%. Number 3 on our list is Cross Timbers Royalty Trust, and they raised their dividend by 8%, and they've got a forward yield of 9%. Number 4 on our list is Bank 7, and they've decided to raise their dividend by 33.3%. They've got a forward yield of 2.47%, and they're going ex-dividend on December 22nd with a payout on January 5th. Number 5 is C.H. Robinson Worldwide, and they are raising their quarterly dividend by 10.9%, giving them a forward yield of 2.56%. They're going ex-dividend coming up pretty quickly on December 1st with a pay date on January 3rd. ACOM Technology is the 6th company on our list, and they've decided to raise their quarterly dividend by 20%, giving them a forward yield of 0.92%. They're going ex-dividend here on January 3rd, payable on January 20th. Brown-Forman is number 7 on our list, and they're raising their dividend by 9%. Forward yield is 1.19%. They go ex-dividend on December 1st with a pay date on January 3rd. KeyCorp is raising their dividend by 5.1%, giving them a forward yield of 4.39%. They go ex-dividend on Monday, November 28th with a pay date on December 15th. Motorola Solutions is raising their dividend by 11.4%, giving them a forward yield of 1.38%. They're going ex-dividend on December 14th with a pay date on January 13th. The 10th company raising their dividend in the last week is Griffin, and they are raising their dividend by 11.1%. They've got a forward yield of 1.19%, going ex-dividend on the 28th of November with a pay date on December 16th. Kulik and Sofa is raising their dividend by 11.8%, giving them a forward yield of 1.67%. They go ex-dividend on December 21st with a pay date on January 9th. First U.S. Bancshares is raising their quarterly dividend by a whopping 66.7%, which gets you to an even more impressive 5 cents a share. Forward yield for this company is 2.3%. They go ex-dividend on December 8th with a pay date on January 3rd. Matthews has announced their raise of 4.5% to their dividend, giving a forward yield of 3.34%. They're going ex-dividend on November 25th with a pay date on December 12th. WesBanco also is raising their dividend, but this time by 2.9%, giving you a forward yield of 3.52 presently, ex-dividend on December 8th, payable on January 3rd. Agilent Technologies is raising their dividend by 7.1%, so you're getting about 22.5 cents per each share that you own. The forward yield is 0.61%. They go ex-dividend on December 30th with a pay date on January 25th. RioCan Real Estate Investment Trust is raising their monthly dividend by 6.3%. They've got a forward yield of 4.88%. They're going ex-dividend on November 29th with a pay date on December 7th. The MetLife Preferred Stock Series A is raising their quarterly dividend by 6.2%, giving you a forward yield of 5.07%. They're going ex-dividend on November 29th, and they've got a pay date on December 15th. Morguard North American Residential REIT is the 18th company on our list, and they've announced a 2.9% increase. They've got a forward yield of 1.59%, going ex-dividend on November 29th with a pay date on December 15th. American National Bankshares is raising their dividend by 7.1%. Forward yield is 3.15%, ex-dividend on December 1st with a pay date on December 16th. Logan Sport Financial raising their dividend by 12.5%. Forward yield is 4.5%. They go ex-dividend on December 14th with a pay date on January 16th. Group 1 Automotive is raising their dividend by 2.6%, and they've got a buyback authorization to move from $161 million to $200 million. Forward yield right now is 0.82%. They go ex-dividend on November 30th with a pay date on December 15th. Stelco Holdings is raising their dividend by 40%, giving you a forward yield of 3.11%, going ex-dividend on November 23rd with a pay date on December 1st. Tamarack Valley Energy raising their dividend by 25%. Forward yield is 2.11%. They go ex-dividend on November 29th with a pay date on December 15th. Suncor Energy is raising their dividend by 10.6%. Forward yield right now is 4.23%. They go ex-dividend on December 1st with a pay date on December 23rd. Royal Gold is the 25th company on our list, and they're raising their dividend by 7.1%. Their forward yield is 1.42%. They go ex-dividend on January 5th with a payout on January 20th. Alvo Petro Energy is raising their dividend by 50%, giving you 12 cents for each share that you own. They've got a forward yield of 10.91%. They go ex-dividend on December 29th with a payout on January 13th. Number 27 on our list, 11.5% increase for Nike. They've got a forward yield of 1.27%, ex-dividend on December 2nd with a pay date on December 28th. Trustco Bank is raising their dividend by 2.9%. Forward yield is 3.79%, ex-dividend on December 1st, pay date on January 3rd. Middlefield Bank just announced a 17.6% increase on their dividend, and they're paying a one-time special cash dividend of 10 cents for every common share. They go ex-dividend on December 1st with a pay date on December 15th. Four Corners Property Trust is raising their dividend by 2.3%. Forward yield 5.03%. They go ex-dividend on December 29th with a pay date on January 13th. DTE Energy is the last that we're looking at in terms of the dividend increases, and they raised their dividend by 7.6%. They've got an ex-dividend date on December 16th and a pay date on January 15th. Now let's get to some of the bad news, because it is important to be aware of any companies that might be decreasing their dividends. Now here we are looking at the decreases, and we have Permianville Royalty Trust, and they're decreasing their dividend by 6.9%. Granite Real Estate Investment is cutting their quarterly dividend by 3.1%. Permian Basin Royalty Trust cutting their dividend by 61.2%. Hugoton Royalty Trust cutting their dividend by 14.4%. Marine Petroleum Trust is cutting their dividend by 6.7%. San Juan Basin Royalty Trust just cut their dividend in half by 50.8%. Starbolt Carriers cuts their dividend by 27.3%. Flagship Communities Real Estate cut their dividend by 91.7%. Broadmark Realty Capital just halved their dividend to 3.5 cents for each share that you own. And finally, Sylogist cuts their dividend by 92%. Now, this video is in no way any advice on things to buy and things to sell, but just for you all to be aware of the increases and the decreases that these companies are issuing on a week-to-week basis. Now take a peek at this video next.